doing these stretches, um, it reverses the clock.
The Joe Hippensteel Method.
Hi, I'm Dwight Freeney. I played 16 years in the NFL, and I worked with Joe for the latter part of my career, and he's really helped me. I played at a pretty high level. Um, I made numerous Pro Bowls. I've made, a few All Pros, which means that they only pick, one per position. I've won Defensive Player of the Year. I have won a Super Bowl before. Um, so I have a nice accomplished career. I've seen a lot, done a lot, played a long time. When you play in the NFL, you have numerous amounts of injuries. That's the only thing that you're guaranteed. Some guys are getting guaranteed money now, but I guess the only thing you're really guaranteed is that you're going to get hurt. All right, and I've had numerous amount of injuries in my career, and some obviously worse than others. One of the biggest ones that I've had was a quadricep tear. Okay, and the quad ripped off the top of my left knee, and they had to drill a hole through my knee and reattach it on the other side. So it's one of the biggest injuries that can happen. The way that I injured my quad, tendon was, and I'm not exactly sure how familiar everyone is with football. It's kind of a horse collar type of play. They call a horse collar is when a guy grabs the back of your jersey and pulls you backwards while you're still running forwards. So as I was running around the offensive tackle, trying to make a play on the quarterback, I felt somebody yank on the back of my jersey to stop my momentum, but my legs were still moving forward. And it was like a gunshot. Somebody put a gun right to my quad and shot me in my leg. And my leg just went. And I ended up falling. And I knew as soon as it happened, it was going to be bad. It's interesting. I was on I'm a big golfer. I love the golf. And I was on the driving range, and the guy walked up to me, and he was a Navy SEAL. And this Navy SEAL walks up to me and says, "Hey, do you stretch?" I said, "Yeah, sure. I played a long time in the league. Of course I stretch. What is this guy asking me about? Do I stretch?" He said, "No, but do you really stretch?" I said, you know what? Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Now, this is prior to me being hurt. I wasn't hurt yet. All right. And didn't have the injury yet. So I kind of just took mental note of it. Say, okay, yeah, I think I'm okay. Things have progressed pretty well in my career. I don't think I need a stretch guy. Well, then the injury happened. And after the injury happened, I was sitting around saying, man, I have to get back from this injury. And something told me, you know what? This Navy SEAL guy, those guys see this stretch guy. All right. And this guy that's supposed to be, the greatest thing. But the truth is, in the NFL, you have all types of stretch guys. But the one thing that got me was these Navy SEALs go out and they're risking their lives, and they're going out getting shot at. And they go see this guy so they can get healthy again. So they don't have to have surgery just to go back out there. That's something in my mind said, you know what? If these guys are going to see this guy, right, and they're worried about life or death,
Yeah.
I'm not worried about life or death. I'm just saying, hey, you know what? I want to get back to myself. I'll give this guy a try. And that's how that introduction started. That's how, I gave him a call. I saw him, and it was kind of like, who is this guy gonna be? And it just kind of it took me a couple of days to get at it. And once I got into a rhythm, I was sold. It is a process. This is like peeling an onion. This isn't like the very first time you see them and it's like, oh, this is gonna work. It took me some time, and he had to break things down. And and the thing is, what people don't understand is that you talk about stretching. Oh, stretch. This was some painful stretching, especially if you have a lot of issues. Okay, so it's kind of a process that, you have to really go through as far as I say the pain, but it's just your body trying to tell you, look, you need to loosen up.
Yeah.
And once you get past that, you really start seeing the results. But it isn't overnight. This isn't something that, you can just like take a pill and all of a sudden, hey, I'm perfectly fine. It's one of those things where, you're gonna get out of it what you put in. And you put the hours in, you're gonna definitely, reap the benefits. No, absolutely. It was a part of the thing, my life. I like to look back and like to see or think about why did I end up in that place. You know, I went to San Diego. I had a great career in Indianapolis for the Indianapolis Colts. We won Super Bowls. It was like my golden years of my career. I ended up in a place in San Diego, which I've never really been to before other than playing a football game there. Um, we weren't successful there. Our team, I don't even think we were 500 any of the 2 years that I was there. I had a really terrible tear of my knee. It was kind of like, why did I end up in San Diego? Like, for what? And I think, one of the reasons was to meet Joe. I think Joe ended up helping me um, extend my career in a weird way, where I get it. If I don't have that quad tear, maybe I play a couple more years. You never know. It's really like a coin flip. But in the NFL and in life, the older you get, the slower you get, the more pains you get, and especially in the NFL, the less they want you. Okay. So you have to have production. You have to be able to go out there and make plays and show these coaches and these owners and these general managers that you can still do it. All right. And because of Joe's stretch routines and things that I got, I guess embedded in me through Joe, it made me feel better than I did prior to seeing him. So when I was, let's just call it 32, 33, when I got injured, you know, before I got injured, I was feeling a type of a way. I felt stiff. I had tendonitis. I kind of felt like, yeah, my body is kind of like telling me, look, man, you gotta, this might be it. And then after seeing Joe, after recovering from the quad tear, didn't just stop there. We continued to stretch. We continued to build on top of that foundation that was now solid. I was starting to feel like I was 28 again, which was great. So it actually extended my career, and I went to another Super Bowl and I, got to meet different people within the different organizations, went to different cities. And, we have lifetime relationships, friendships from those things that we don't know. No one knows what's going to happen from those meetings.
Yeah.
So Joe kind of extended things for me and made my exit in the NFL something that was my decision, not because I couldn't play anymore or because I was hurt or injured like so many NFL players do. I do still work on Joe's stuff, just nowhere near the amount of time. And my body lets me know that I'm not working on it in the way that I need to. But the good thing about Joe's stuff is, once you got it, you got it. And I went, so if I start feeling a little pain here, a little this, a little that, I get right back onto the mat, get right back into my positions, and it clears things up. That's a hard question to answer. I would say this: um, NFL years are kind of like dog years. Like a dog. A dog's 11; he's already 82. It's kind of like that's how it is for football guys because your body isn't really meant to be put in those types of positions, that type of torque, that type of banging to your joints, your head, your this, your that. So for me, doing these stretches, um, it reverses the clock. Now, how much does that reverse the clock? I couldn't tell you because I'm already feeling old just because I'm in dog years, right? I don't struggle walking up steps. These things don't bother me. Some guys that played 16 years in the NFL at my position are having hard time sitting down for a long time. Things stiffen up. They're talking about surgeries, hip replacements, knee replacements. I knock on wood, I hadn't had those issues. And I think a lot has to do with Joe's techniques and what Joe has taught me.